I've been using Cursor more and more lately, and I've been really impressed with Composer too. And with the latest update to Cursor 3, everything has changed. This is not just a UI refresh either, they actually built the entire thing from the ground up. Cursor 3 leans heavily into agentic coding. You'll notice there's no file trees, no terminal, no tabs. It's really simple. And you can see all of your projects and workspaces in a single view, making it really quickly to fire off multiple agents in the same workspace or run multiple agents across different workspaces. But before we dive into all the new features, let me first give you a preview. So I'm going to start a new session within my YouTube engine project. Now I use this app to manage my content for my YouTube channel, and it's very much driven by an AI assistant that I can invoke from anywhere in this application. But currently there's a bug. On the homepage, it says there's only 3 skills installed. But if I go to the skills page, there are actually about 5 skills installed. So I'm actually going to use Cursor to resolve this bug. Within Cursor, I can choose Composer 2 or Composer 2 Fast. Then let's say, the number of skills in the dashboard does not reflect the actual number of skills installed, as per the skills page. And this is really cool. So I'm going to tell the agent to fix the issue and use its browser to test the fix. Cursor 3 actually includes an embedded browser, which the agent can use. So let's fire this off. So it's currently just reasoning through the entire solution. It's just calling tools to read the file base. It's reading in all of the code. And within only a few seconds, the fix was resolved. It's automatically running ESLint and TypeScript. And within a second, we should actually see the browser window open up as well. So it's saying testing in the browser, and the agent automatically pulled up this sidebar. And if we expand this, we can actually see the agent controlling this browser window as well. So I'm just going to hide that sidebar for a second. And now we can see the agent controlling the browser and testing its fix. So it's actually gone to the skills tab, most likely counting the actual skills available. And that's really it. So the fix has been implemented. If we go back to the main dashboard, we can indeed see that there are 5 skills installed now. Let's take this a step further. I'm actually going to grab another skill, like the finds skill. Then I'm going to ask Composer, hey, please can you install the following skill using the skills page, and then see if the skills in the dashboard were updated. Right, then I'm just going to pass in that npx command to install the skill. And what I'm hoping is that Composer will be intelligent enough to understand where to navigate to in our application. So it should go to the skills page. And I want to see if it's able to correctly populate all the values needed to install this skill. So far it's correctly gone to the skills page. It's populating this pop-up as well. So it was actually able to correctly extract the GitHub URL and specify the specific skill to install. Right, so now the find skill has been installed. Now I'm hoping Composer will go to the dashboard to verify that everything works. Right, so we come back to the dashboard, and now we can indeed see that 6 skills were installed. It's even doing a search on the word skills to find it in the UI and point out the change to us. That's so cool. We can see in the left sidebar that it did indeed search for the word skills. And now since this change is working, what we can do is simply click on create branch and commit. Cool, it's actually created a new branch for us. It staged all of the changes. Now we can even push this change up to GitHub, which it did. So just push the changes to GitHub for us as well. We can even get Cursor to create the pull request for us. Everything is just handled within this interface. It's so streamlined. All right, so we've got the draft PR open. Let's review it. Now, of course, we can review all of the changes. So if we click on this little sidebar, you can see everything that was changed. And if we're happy, we can click on mark as ready. And finally, we can squash and merge this change back into the main branch. And that's it. We just merged our changes with the main branch. It was really that simple. A quick shout out to Scrumbar, the sponsor of today's video. The problem with most coding courses is that they're passive. You watch someone else code for hours, you feel like you're learning, but then when you sit down to build something, you're stuck. And that is tutorial hell. Scrumbar is completely different though. The lessons are interactive. This means you can pause the video at any point and edit the instructor's code right there in the player. I've always been an advocate for learning by doing. Scrimba has been very well known for front-end learning, but last summer they began offering support for back-end and full-stack languages. Their full-stack developer path offers over 100 hours of content designed to take you from zero to job-ready in 6 to 12 months. It covers everything you need to know to be a full-stack engineer. JavaScript, React, Node, Express, Next.js, TypeScript, SQL, and they even have AI engineering built in. Everything runs in the browser too, so there's no messing around with local setups. You just open it and start coding. Scrimba has over 2 million learners, an active Discord channel with over 70,000 members, and they've even partnered with Mozilla MDN on their curriculum. They've also got tons of free content if you just want to dip your toes in first. But if you're ready to go all in, I've got a link in the description with 20% off Scrimba Pro. And if you grab the annual plan, you save even more on top of that. Thanks to Scrimba for sponsoring this video. So we've got an entire CI/CD pipeline just simply built into our tool now. We can jump between the actual browser window, which the agent can control, and of course we can still start the development server and interact with the terminal if we want to. Now there's a lot more to Cursor 3 than this, so let's continue looking at everything that's new. I'll link to this blog post in the description of this video, and this lists all of the new features, but I'm not going to go everything myself. You're welcome to have a look at it as well, but there's a few things I want to point out that I've actually found really useful. Firstly, having all of your agents in one place is really a big deal. If I pull up the sidebar again, I can see all of my workspaces in a single view. So I've got my YouTube engine, I've got Pulse Books, which I built as a bookkeeping app for my business, and of course I've got the Agentic Coding Masterclass as well, which contains all of the slides and presentations used in my Masterclass course. And I can easily open up another workspace. For instance, let's pull in AutoForge, and I can really easily start a new agent. So let's actually just ask this one, please describe the project. Let's send this. And while this agent is working, I can easily kick off another agent within the same workspace. And because this is Cursor, we've got access to several models. And now I can spin up another agent while the other agents are running. So simply having all of your projects and agents in a single view is awesome. And as we just mentioned now, you can run many agents in parallel. You can just kick off agents in the same project or kick off multiple agents across multiple projects. And this is also really cool, and we will touch on this in a second. You can start local and cloud agents within this very same view. And cloud agents are awesome. I'll show you in a second. And on the topic of local and cloud agents, they improved the UX for handoff between local and cloud agents. And I will show you in a minute, but it's really easy to take an agent that's running locally and hand it off to a cloud agent so that you can kind of close your machine, you can walk away, and the agent will continue working in the cloud. And when you're back to your machine, you can simply pull down a conversation from the cloud agent. In fact, let's actually do that now. So I'm going to make a small change to the Pulse Books app. So let's create a new session. And let's see if we can make a small change to this app. Maybe under this section, everything you need to manage your finances. Let's get our agent to add a small animation over these different cards. So this background card should have a 3D effect or something cool. Right, so back in Cursor 3, what we can do is simply select our project. Now for the environment, we can select between this PC and cloud. So if you want to start off with the cloud agent, simply select cloud, and this will immediately run the agent in the cloud. But for the new user experience, let's start with the local agent. So let's say, please make a change to the features section on the homepage. I want the cards to have animations when the user hovers their mouse over them. Perhaps a gradient, 3D effect, something cool. You decide. Then of course we can change our modes. So I'll press Shift and Tab to go into planning mode. Then we'll just use Composer 2 and run this. So while Composer 2 is working on the implementation plan, I just want to show you a few interesting facts about the model. According to this benchmark, and of course you can take these benchmarks however you want, Composer 2's performance is between Opus 4.6 and GPT 5.4, which is phenomenal, but it's at a fraction of the cost. And of course, according to their own chart, Composer 2 is both faster and more cost-effective than comparable models. I can definitely vouch for the speed of this model. It's stupidly fast and it's really cheap. And honestly, this is why I started using Composer more than Claude Code recently, or due to the usage limits and the cost lately of using the Opus 4.6 model. And let's dive into the costing a little bit more. For Composer 2, it's only 50 cents for 1 million input tokens, and $2.50 for 1 million output tokens. And for Composer 2 Fast, it's $1.50 in and $7.50 for the output tokens. And just to be clear, fast does not mean it's a less intelligent model. You're just paying more for faster inference. So you might think that this is way more expensive, but let's compare this to Opus 4.6 for a second. This is a model that a lot of people watching this video use on a daily basis. This is $5 for the input tokens and $25 for the output tokens. Keep in mind, you're always using more output tokens than input tokens. So this is a massive deal. So I'm using Cursor 2 because I'm being cheap, but even then, this model is still really fast. But since it's so cheap, let's switch over to the fast version and let's click on Build. So let's pretend that I'm not willing to wait for this process to complete, right? I've got an appointment to go to, so I need to switch my laptop off. I'm just going to stop this process for a second. And here's the funny thing. I meant to stop this mid-session, but this change was so quick that it's already done. So it's a little bit hard to demo this now, but let's give it a slightly more complex task then. Let's implement this 3D card effect from Agentic. So I'll simply copy the URL. Then let's go back to the agent. Actually, please can you set up this Agentic 3D card component instead? Let's paste in that URL and let's send this. So hopefully this will take a little bit longer. Right, first thing I'm going to do is I'll stop the session. So what I can do is hand the session over to the cloud. So to do that, simply right click on this specific session, go to Move To and click on Cloud. So I'll simply say Include Changes. This is just because the agent already started making changes. First, you'll notice there's this cloud icon, which means that this specific agent is now running in the cloud. So this means I can now close my machine and the agent will actually continue working. I can remotely view the progress of my agent by going to cursor.com, and from here I can see the current session, and by changing the model I accidentally stopped the agent, so I just asked it to continue. So in Cursor 3 locally we can see that the agent is currently running, and if we go to cursor.com I can sign in with my account and also see the agent running over there. Alright, so the agent just finished, and just a reminder, this agent was running in the cloud. So it made a change, and it even took screenshots of the application. So here it's showing us the default view, so nothing's changed. Then below it, after hover on the first card, and indeed I can see there is a bit of an outline and a different shadow on this first card. Also, if I switch back to Cursor 3 on my machine, I get all of that feedback on my own PC as well. Now, if we wanted to review these changes ourselves on our local build, we can simply click on Move to Local. Then we can decide if we want to stash these changes, commit them, discard, cancel, whatever. Another new feature in Cursor 3 is the Marketplace. So we can go to Marketplace, and here we can browse skills, rules, subagents, MCP servers, hooks, and everything else. It's so convenient. Since our app is deployed to Vercel, we can go to this Vercel Marketplace, and in here we can find everything from MCP servers to skills related to Vercel, subagents, custom commands, and even hooks. Then I do want to show you a few things. You can definitely review the code. By clicking on Review, Cursor will show you all the code changes side by side. So this is not a vibe coding tool. As a developer, you can definitely review the code as well. Then lastly, and I probably should have led with this, you can access the new interface from Cursor by holding Ctrl, Shift, and pressing P. You can then search for Agent Window and look for something like New Agent Window or something to that extent. And that will take you to the new Cursor 3 agent view. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more Agentic coding videos. I just released a new Agentic coding masterclass course as well on my school community. So I'll leave a link to this in the description of this video. This course covers everything you need to know about building solutions using AI agents. We go over everything from the core concepts to the basics to working with agents. advanced patterns, and a project that you can follow along with. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.